Hello there, and welcome to 10 tips and tricks for more money in 2-Point Museum. So in this video, I got several different things that you can do to increase your museum income and get yourself a little bit more successful. So let's get started with the first thing. Whatever you build for the sake of earning money, focus the stuff that is of high value. The primary candidates to show up here are the gift shop and the cafeteria. These are both producing pretty high amounts of income. The cafeteria is pretty interesting because it stands directly in competition to these snack vendors here. The thing is quite simple. People that go here fulfill several of their needs all at once, whereas here they can only fulfill one need at once and the income is much lower. So the rooms for income are a little bit costlier to set up. There's nothing wrong to set up a couple of vending machines or a little bit of a coffee booth here as an intermediate solution, but in the long run it pays off to nudge it towards those things that get a lot of money all at once. So for number 2, I want to talk about the gift shops a little bit more in specific. So gift shops can be put down several times, ideally fitting to each branch of your museum and in the vicinity of these branches. So here we have science and botany, so we could easily get both of these types running. Also, and that is true for all of the areas where you want to produce income, don't sleep on the decoration rating. Here, the decoration ratings are relatively low. They could be better, but in general, the better the decoration, the happier the people, the longer they'll stay in the museum. Generally, try to keep things as beautiful as possible. It pays off in the long run, everywhere. But yeah, gift shops eventually, when your museum is big enough, you might even consider a second one of the same type when you notice that the queues in front of the terminals grow. That is true for all services. When you see a queue growing somewhere, you have more demand than you have offer than you can offer currently, and that means you need more of something. Always try to get the most profit out of that again, like in number 1. So number 3, spots for income. So when you want to know where you place down your cafeteria or your vending machine, it's a pretty nifty tool with the visualizations here. So you can check on out where your customers are, or your visitors are the hungriest. So here we see that everything is pretty okay, except for here where the tours are happening, but overall this museum is well fed, and so you can do this with all the different needs, and this gives you an exact location of where you need to put down the stuff to earn the most money with. Because if you put the stuff down where people don't need it, people won't buy anything, and at the end of the day you only spent money without any earnings back. This also shows you how many you need. Nothing is worse than overspending at the end of the day. Number 4, tours. So tours are cashing out so much money. As you can see, my tour sales for this little shack here are almost as high as my donation income. The thing is quite simple. For a tour, take attention that you have this word here the same on all exhibits. These are all now custom contraptions. They belong together in the tour. So you have eatable plants, and here I have crossed it a little bit. Man-eating plants and eatable plants, I put all 3 of them in one tour, but technically these would be two tours, one for man-eating plants and one for eatable plants. You could split it up, and as soon as you have 2 exhibits of one type, it pays off to split it up. This little corner here, just 2 classic contraptions. Admittedly, they have a fair amount of buzz, but they yield a lot of money just with 2 exhibits. Tours don't need to be large. So, long story short, make of every 2 same exhibits that you have a tour. It pays off so tremendously. Just take care that you have the necessary personnel for that, and ideally train them even to be proficient in the tour business, and you crank out even more staying time and therefore more money out of your people there. Number 5, price increasing. So Prices on everything can be and should be increased over time. My personal favorite is just to yoink up the prices everywhere, just a little smidge, just a little bit every few years, and then the people will tell you what they think about it. And when you went too far, you can always crank it back down. And if everybody thinks it's worth the price, you just repeat it when you gained a bit more buzz for your museum until you hit a point where the people are pissed, and then you crank it back a little bit, and this way you can earn a lot more money. It is shocking how much money this makes every time you bring up the increases by 5 to 10%. I mean, this is increasing all your sales incomes by 5 to 10%. This is not bad. And you shouldn't do this all too regularly. Every few levels of your museum you might check it out. And yeah, that's all I can say. It's really a nice way of steadily increasing your income. And I personally love this because your staff grows costier the longer the game goes, and it's kind of like counteracts that, especially since your staff level is directly increasing the museum level. Higher level museums attract more guests, so you can, yeah, you see how this goes. Number 6, artifact grinding. Sometimes you just need a direct influx of cash, and there's plenty of little expeditions out there. My favorite here is this with just $1,000. You need an archaeology expert for that, but most areas have a very low cost area to grind out. As you see there, the underworld is among the most costly ones, but basically all of them, well, these guys, they don't have anything for sale. The bungle burrows are not a good example, but basically all of them are yielding something where we can get ourselves something for a low amount of money. You can sell these then, and while this doesn't yield tremendous amounts of money, there are times, especially when I'm building up a museum new, I love to do this before my helipad does nothing, because I'm just so low on money that I can't afford any progress expeditions. It's a nice little nifty little thing. I even gone as far as sometimes recruiting just somebody for the sake of grinding those expeditions so I could earn some money on the side. It's annoying, in all honesty. It's a tedium, but sometimes it's better to have a tedium to grind on than just a screen to stare on. That's my point here. Number 7, loans and sponsorships. So these are not, loans are not really an income source, but at times it might be really useful to consider it, because yes, you cut off a bit of your monthly income for a big influx of cash. But with that, sometimes you can take a big leap ahead, get yourself new exhibits to earn a substantial amount of more money. I would say never take a loan without a goal in your mind, because these things are basically just meant to get you there faster. And sponsorships, on the other hand, usually give you a monthly pay with well, a downside for the exhibit that you have to put on display. For example, this is a sponsorship exhibit. It makes people bored to look at it, and technically it forces a bad exhibit into your museum for some extra income. In all fairness, it's often worth it, especially if you're really in dire needs of cash. But yeah, these two methods exist, and I wanted to point towards them. Sponsorships especially are something that I think are really cool to use. I overlooked it for the time that I needed it, and therefore I definitely wanted to put it into this video, because I wish I had known about it before. Number 8, overstaffing. So from time to time, you should really check if your staff is busy or all available. If you have too many available people in this list, it's a good opportunity to trim it. 2 types of employees I do accept as a high availability level: experts, because you can send them on expeditions and therefore they can earn money otherwise; and security guards, because honestly, yes, they do cost a little bit money, but they also prevent thefts. And the best part about it is, unless you totally overdo it and employ 20 security guards and more, usually your museum grows into the overstaffing of your security guards, because the bigger you get, the more security guards you need, and therefore being ahead of your time is really often worth it because of the random attacks on your museum. I never did regret it a little bit to have a few more people available here. This one actually looks like I could use 1 or 2 more security guards in all honesty. Number 9, cross-branching. So if you really want to be faster and you just want to progress faster, you can also consider on each campaign map, or if you play sandbox, it's a completely different pair of shoes. Each one of these areas here can be used to fund a separate wing in your museum. So I could buy another plot here, build a different building, make a botany exhibit or a otherworldly exhibit. You can recruit the people that you require for that. You can always advertise the specialization that you require for this purpose. And that's a pretty nifty thing because at times it really there's nothing to do progress-wise on the specialized map that do for the campaign, or you just want to earn some money fast. The nice thing is that the entry tier exhibits, so to speak, are often really easy to grab. The bone belt things are numerous. There's so many things that you can gather for a very low amount of money, and it offers you a tour opportunity, and it cranks out just more money. And once you don't want them anymore because you want to go for a different venue or have more valuable exhibits to begin with, you can just sell them off. So there's really nothing to lose with going that way. It's all about gaining speed if you want to. I mean, by all means, play the game chill if you want to. I did play it very slowly myself for most of the time, but I was thinking about how to be faster than I was when I was checking out things a lot. Number 10. So here, the last thing is the more buzz you have in your museum, the more income you generate. This is a very easy equation because buzz does directly increase or the amount of or the average quality of your exhibits as well. Long story short, the more stuff you present, the more trouble you also gain. And therefore, I advise you to grow in steps that you can't oversee. Nothing is worse than packing yourself a separate building, just fetching yourself quickly staff, then forgetting about zones and forgetting about the extra needs, needing to get into a loan, and then your stuff gets stolen. All of these things can happen if you just move too fast. And you can grow very fast in this game if you want to. And be aware of the fact that the speed of your growth is directly proportional to the difficulty level of this game. The faster you grow, the more difficult the game gets. The slower you grow, the more stale and boring the game gets to a certain degree. Not for me, because I'm a grindy kind of guy, but you surely get what I mean. Now, that's the 10 things that I know about increasing your income in this game substantially. And if you follow all these, you'll have a nice amount of money to spend to progress forth. And just as a last word, keep increasing the amount of quality on your exhibits. The average amount of buzz is such a powerful tool that should be used. Take that as an unofficial 11th tip. So let me know what you think. There's plenty of other things that you can do to increase your income. I was on the lookout for the least exploity ways because I personally find these quite boring. Let me know what you know. I don't judge exploity methods. Do you know any? Share them down there in the comment section, and leave a like, leave a subscribe. Consider supporting the channel if you feel like my work is worth a dime to you. That would really mean a lot. You can join the channel membership or the other links that are down below. Many thanks to all of you who do. I really appreciate you folks, and I also want to put out a thanks to you for watching this video this very moment here, because that means you went through all the ads and everything just to watch this video. Appreciate it. Have a good day, and I hope to see you soon.